Hi, and welcome to this short demonstration of ContractPod AI. ContractPod AI is Europe's fastest growing contract management system. It's actually one of the fastest growing in the world. We've got clients now that also cover the US, Australia, Southeast Asia, as well as our core European market. In terms of the organizations we work with, we cover a really wide range of industry verticals, but some of the headline grabbers are people like EY, Total Petroleum, UEFA, IKEA, BSH, who make all the white goods through Bosch Siemens Neff. So we've built up a really robust set of clients over the last few years. ContractPod AI is a complete end-to-end contract management tool. So it can allow you to create contracts, to store and manage third-party documents. All contracts and documents are highly searchable, are stored in a central repository and are highly searchable within that repository. You can then produce really detailed reporting and analytics. Dates can be managed. Contracts can be signed electronically using DocuSign, which is built in and comes as standard. You manage approval workflows, legal obligations, and you can even review contracts using our AI review tool, which we have built with IBM Watson. Now we're looking at the web browser version of the tool, and this is the version that the legal team would typically access. And they can access the full functionality of the system from here. However, for users in the business, we also have a native Salesforce app. So they can access ContractPod AI, create contracts from within the Salesforce app without ever having to leave the Salesforce environment. We're looking at a lightning version of Salesforce here, but the app is also available in the classic version as well. We're looking at the accounts page for Unilever, and in terms of what the app allows the user to do, firstly, you can see at the bottom we've added a contracts tab, so the user can very quickly access all contracts related to this account. And we've done the same actually within the opportunities. So within each opportunity, you can very quickly access all the related contracts. The user also has, through My Contracts, a central repository. So this is where they can view any contract that their permission settings will allow them to view. Now, in terms of creating a contract, you can create a contract directly from the accounts page. So we have this create new contract tab, or if it's related to an opportunity itself, like this WGSN premium opportunity, then you can create it from within the opportunity. So let's do that. This is the request form where you populate the metadata that will be stored against the contract records. So we'll identify the contract type, parties, select the relevant Unilever details, when we hit save and continue, we now create a record in the contract repository. So we've not created the contract yet, but we've got a searchable record within the repository. But we can now select the template we want to use, and you can have multiple variations for each contract type. So order forms, sales agreements can all have different variations, maybe covering different brands or different products, anything like that. We're then able to load the variable questionnaire, which is where you populate the actual variables within the document itself. So we'll very quickly enter these details. You can also build approvals into this process. So at all times, the user is creating the contract within an approval framework that the legal team have set out. And you can also, we also have a clause library. So you can keep a bank of the most up-to-date versions of each clause. What that also allows you to do is actually manage your playbook, in the sense that you can, once you've created the contract, you can go back in and edit this questionnaire And if the other party has negotiated one of the clauses, you can actually have the fallback clauses that the user can quickly select. So you can have the initial version of the clause, and then fallback position 1, 2, 3, 4. And for example, if you went to fallback position 3, that could again trigger an approval. So you've got complete control over the playbook as well. So we'll give it a value. We can then save and generate the contract. Now, the contracts are based on your standard Word templates. So the contract we've created is a very simple sales agreement here, but they can be far more sophisticated than this. But you can see how quick and easy it is to actually create a contract through the tool. Now, the fantastic thing about the web browser version of the tool is that it is linked directly to the Salesforce app. And in Ascential's case, it will be linked to the 7 different instances of Salesforce within the organization. So when we go on to the browser version, if we look in the contract repository here, then you can see at the top, we've got the Unilever agreement that we just created. And the snapshot page here reflects the snapshot page in Salesforce. And one of the real benefits of the .NET version then is that because it links to the 7 different instances, or it will link to the different instances of Salesforce within Ascential, you can then search across the whole contract repository. So you can, for example, with Unilever, search for all of Unilever's contracts across the whole organization within each of the different Salesforce instances. Now, some of the other functionality that the web browser version provides, and actually you can do this through the Salesforce app as well, is the ability to link contracts. So you can add a relationship that the contract you're working on has with any other contract in the repository, and you can determine whether this contract is a parent or a child of the other contracts that you're working on. And when you do that, you start to build a relationship tree. So if we go into My Contracts and go to one of these contracts that has this little icon here, then you can see you get a diagram of all the contracts that this particular contract is related to. Now, once once all your contracts and data are in the system, you can very easily produce really detailed reporting and analytics. So I'll show you very quickly the dashboard. This is the standard dashboard that the Contract Pod AI user can view. So they get a breakdown of contract type versus status, customer supplier analysis, revenue. So really this provides a health check into the contracts that are in the system. But you also have the ability to produce reports. Through My Reports, you can create, you can run preloaded reports. And these can be selected from this drop-down menu here. So you just pick out the report you want, and within one click, you can run it, or you can even just type in some wording from the name of the report. So to run a report on the supplier contracts that contain change of control provisions, you can see how easy it is. You get the results here, and they can then be exported to Excel or to PDF. You can also schedule reports to run automatically, and you can build reports through custom reports. So even if you have created bespoke metadata fields in the system, you will still be able to select these and report on these here. The one thing that we didn't cover before is that once the contract is once the contract is created, you can actually send for signature using DocuSign. So DocuSign is built into the system, and the great thing about the integration we have with DocuSign is that when the contract is fully signed, the fully signed version is automatically uploaded onto ContractPod AI. So I hope that provides a useful insight into part of what ContractPod AI can do. And I'd be more than happy to answer any follow-up questions. Thank you.